Alrighty, hello everybody. Today is day 28, and I apologize if the camera is doing weird flickery, focusy things. I don't know how to fix it. I've tried everything, so there's that. But since this video is coming out on election day, I figured I would actually talk about the election a little bit. But first, Monday. Oh boy, what a day that was. I mentioned it in yesterday's video, but waking up and getting in the shower and then having the tornado sirens go off while in the shower is not exactly the most pleasant way to start the morning. Now, I'm not saying that it was inherently unpleasant. It was just it caught me off guard. I didn't really expect that. But again, that's just more proof that it's God in control, not me. But yeah, I'm really blessed, though. My work moved everything online, work from home, remote, on Monday, so got to work from home. That was really, really nice, and I'm really, really thankful to them for doing that, because while there wasn't any issues for the rest of the day, there could have been, and so I thought that was a very, very good decision in my opinion, and I thank them for that. That was really fantastic. But moving on, I read Daniel 4. It's about Nebuchadnezzar and how he had a dream about a tree that got this massive tree that spanned over the whole world that ended up getting cut down just to the stump. And then Daniel interpreted it, and it was talking about how Nebuchadnezzar would be sent out to live in the wilderness among animals for 7 years, and then he would be restored to his place as king once again. I don't really have a lot of key takeaways from it. No real verses to quote, other than it's just a reminder that while we're kind of have almost an earthly mindset ourselves, kind of building our own kingdoms here, God is really the one who's building the everlasting kingdom in heaven. So we shouldn't be so focused on the stuff here on earth. So that's just what I took away from it. But as I said, I'm going to talk about the election a little bit and why I voted for who I voted for. I did vote for Donald Trump this year, and honestly, anyone who knows me probably already knew that, but I want to really talk about why, and it's gonna be just a very brief overview, because I could go really, really in depth, and what's funny is the people that disagree with me, several of them are like, oh yeah, you can't justify it, you can't justify that, I bet you can't justify that. But the reality is, I have thought about this long and hard, and there's been some very big reasons why I'm voting for Donald Trump. He's not perfect by any means. There are things that he does that I'm like, why are you doing that? One of them was the debate against Kamala Harris. He needed to prepare a lot better for that. He needed to not go in there so, I guess cocky would be the word, but still, he did a relatively good job for not being prepared. I'll say that. He and Kamala Harris being on even ground is a little bit unsettling. But anyways, moving on from that, I really, really what really, really resonated with me was the fact that after Donald Trump, the first attempt on his life, the fact that there was people that were saying that and calling for him and wishing that he had been successfully taken out, that was one of those things that, while doesn't necessarily speak on the candidate for the running against Donald Trump, it did really drive home some of the mindsets that were being peddled by the Democrats, specifically this whole idea of unity. I am all for unity, and that is why I voted for Donald Trump. Notice who he has supporting him: Vivek Ramaswamy, Tulsi Gabbard, Elon Musk. John F. Kennedy Jr. Everyone except Vivek Ramaswamy has historically leaned Democrat. Even Trump used to lean Democrat back in the day, but anyways, my point is that he's not just coming and grabbing all these people from the Republican Party. No, he's reaching all sorts of different political views, because Vivek is different from Tulsi, is different from Elon, is different from JFK. Or not JFK, RFK, pardon. Each of them has different opinions, different viewpoints, and I love that Donald Trump has brought them together to try and just work things out and try and find a solution that involves multiple viewpoints. Whereas the opposite prevailing mindset is that, oh, we're all for unity as long as you agree with me. That is how it feels to me. That's how it feels like it's been peddled. Everyone who I say that to is like, oh no, that's not what it's meant to be. I'm like, well, correct. But when it comes to politics, perception is reality. And I think calling half the country Nazis is a very easy way to sow division instead of unity. So and back to my earlier point of calling and wishing that an assassination attempt had been completed successfully. That's another good way to sow division. But again, this is my interpretation and my opinion. I'm not saying, oh, I'm fully correct. Everyone is free to disagree with me, but I'm just putting my understanding of this out there. Another one of the reasons is I always look at life, and especially a lot more recently, through my faith in the Lord and as a Christian. And to be honest, Kamala Harris going into a church in Philadelphia and misquoting scriptures and talking about them in misleading ways didn't sit right with me. Not only that, when somebody shouted, what was it, Jesus is King at one of her rallies, she straight up said, you're at the wrong rally. So, right there, I mean, more or less, that really drove it home that, yeah, born-again Christians aren't welcome. That's the vibe that I got. Meanwhile, J.D. Vance, Trump's running mate, he's like, yes, he is, when the same thing was shouted at one of his rallies. I forget the exact quoting of how he said it, but it was along those lines. And so it sits a lot better with me that I should vote for the candidates that openly welcome my beliefs, my faith, and what I hold true. And there are a couple more controversial topics that I could mention here that go along with that, but I don't think that this is the place for that. But those are my kind of a very simple explanation of why I voted for Donald Trump. I think he has the best platform, just in general. He has more substance behind his platform. He is all about safety, unity, America first, and that is the big thing for me. Is I don't like sending my tax dollars to Ukraine or to Syria to have the CIA and it was the CIA and another U.S. agency fighting against each other in Syria. What was it? So tax dollars fighting against each other. That doesn't sit right with me. So yeah, I want homegrown America first policy before I even consider anything else. Those are my biggest things. America first, my faith, and unity in general. Because you don't have to agree with me. I can coexist with people who disagree with me. It's that simple. It's not that hard. In my opinion, it's not that hard. But I've been shunned by people who disagree with me. I haven't done the shunning. They've shunned me, blocked me. So, I'll leave that there, and we'll hop right into Monday, day 28's stats. Alrighty. Monday, day 28, I got 6 hours and 17 minutes of sleep, which is not quite 7, but honestly, 6 hours and 17 minutes of sleep after a day where there was severe weather, and then being woken up in the middle of the night by some more weather, and then having a tornado warning happen while I was in the shower. 6 hours and 17 minutes, I'll take that. I only got 2,503 steps because I don't usually work from home on Monday, so I usually am out and about a little bit more. But I also stayed inside most of the day because there was weather around me, and I was doing indoor stuff. So there's that. I ate 1,934 calories, and I burned 2,851 for a deficit of 917. So that's where I'll leave this video. If you have any questions about why I voted for Donald Trump, feel free to ask. And yeah, I'm unashamed of it, and I don't really have any qualms with the whole world knowing that. I'm rather proud to support former President Donald Trump because he is fighting for the American people. He has gone through some really tough stuff for us. What are we up to now? 3 attempts on his life. So I will unashamedly be supporting him and voicing my support there. And another little quick tidbit before I leave. He doesn't lie like the media says he does. It's projection. So I'll leave it there. See you in day 29.